Reno, if you've watched my other video, then you already know the big stuff. The taxes, the job market, the proximity to Lake Tahoe, but this video is going to be different. This is everything else. Stuff that doesn't show up when you Google moving to Reno. The stuff only someone who actually lives here would tell you. 6 things I genuinely love that nobody talks about, and 4 things that may catch people off guard after they've already moved here. Let's get into it. Pro 1, and this surprises people sometimes. Casino culture is completely different when you actually live here versus when you're visiting. As a local, the casinos kind of become your cheap entertainment option. Though I don't personally venture down to the casino corridor very often, it can be a good spot for cheap happy hours, good food, cheap buffets, live music on a random Tuesday night, and a place to grab a drink or food in downtown without driving too far. To be honest, a lot of locals, at least the locals that I know, don't really gamble that often. But they do go to this area for the food, the shows, and the people watching. It's less of like the Vegas Strip energy and more of just, it's Friday night and we don't have anything to do, let's head down there and grab some food and maybe catch a show. A completely different relationship with this area than tourists may have. It's one of those things that you wouldn't really appreciate or notice until you live here. So many people think that you're gonna come here and it's gonna be like a mini Vegas and all people do is gamble all day, every day. That is just simply not the case. Pro number 2, and one of my personal favorites, is the dog and pet life. It might be surprising, but if you have a dog, Reno might surprisingly be one of the best spots in the country for you. Think about the trail systems, the river walk, the open space, the proximity to Tahoe. There are so many different places to take your dog to go for a walk or a swim or whatever that may be. Reno is honestly kind of a dog owner's dream. There's a lot to do with a dog. Almost every neighborhood has easy access to walkable trails. Dog parks are everywhere. A lot of patios downtown are dog friendly. You'll sometimes see dogs in coffee shops, dogs at breweries. I mean, you see dogs pretty much everywhere you go around here, which is awesome. So if you've ever lived somewhere where having a dog felt like a pain in the butt and sort of a logistical challenge, Reno is going to be a game changer for you. In my opinion, it's genuinely one of the most pet-friendly cities that I've been to. Pro number 3, let's talk a little bit about how easy daily life here actually is. This is one of those things that you don't think about until you've lived somewhere with a brutal commute. In Reno, almost everything is within 15 to 20 minutes. Although disclaimer, we are getting busier and traffic unfortunately is getting pretty bad, especially if you're going northbound around the 4 to 5 p.m. time frame. I'm just gonna throw that out there. But realistically, the grocery store, the gym, work, school, restaurants, you don't typically have to budget an entire hour just to run an errand. There's also a lot of back roads that you can avoid the freeway on depending on which area you live, of course. For example, if you live in South Reno like myself, I don't even have to touch the freeway to get to most of the things that I just mentioned. So it really depends a lot on where you choose to live. Something to consider when thinking about a neighborhood. But typically speaking, the city is compact enough that your day-to-day life doesn't eat itself alive in transit time. I have quite a few clients that have moved here from bigger metros, typically California, that have mentioned to me how much time they have gotten back in their week. It's genuinely real quality of life, and it's kind of hard to understand until you've actually lived it, so take my word for it. Pro number 4, the social scene. We'll occasionally get questions around this topic. How's the social scene? How's the dating scene? Is it easy to meet friends, easy to meet new people, etc.? Honestly, I think that it's a bit better than the reputation it gets. Because the city has grown so fast, there's a constant influx of new people, which logically speaking means it's actually easier to meet people than you'd think for a city of this size. And I'll tell you about one of the main aspects of the city that I think makes the social scene a little bit better than Reno gets credit for. That is the outdoor activity or activity culture in general. This kind of thing instantly creates opportunity for people to meet each other. Think about things like hiking groups, run clubs, recreational sports leagues, gyms that have a pretty tight-knit community, trivia nights at breweries, just to name a few. Don't get me wrong, it's not Austin, Texas or San Diego where some of the run clubs, for example, have hundreds of people and you just instantaneously meet people. It's actually sometimes hard to not meet new friends at these kind of places, but Reno is giving it its best shot and it's getting better. I think the main point is that there's a real, active, and constantly growing community here. And for somebody maybe moving here solo, there's definitely opportunity to meet new people. Pro number 5, and one that you may not think about, but remote work reliability. I know that after COVID, a lot of people moved to remote work and slowly people are moving back to in-person work, but I still think that this is worth mentioning that Reno is quietly positioned as one of the better remote work cities. This is just kind of a weird little topic, but I think it's important to know, especially for those moving out here with remote work. Internet infrastructure here is strong and getting stronger as all of the data centers and tech companies move in. Coffee shops with reliable Wi-Fi are everywhere, especially in Midtown. And because the city attracted so many remote workers and entrepreneurs over the last few years, there's an established co-working and laptop lifestyle culture that has been developing here that definitely did not exist a decade ago. So if you're someone whose job lives entirely on a laptop, Reno was basically built for the way that you work now. Pro number 6, airport convenience. This is a small thing that makes a real massive difference. Reno Tahoe Airport is genuinely convenient. Trust me when I say this. About 10 minutes from downtown, you can park, get through security, and be at your gate in a fraction of the time that it would take in a big metro airport. Direct flights cover most of the major West Coast cities and a lot of the national hubs also. If you've ever spent more than 45 minutes just getting from the parking lot to your gate at a big major airport, you are going to appreciate this more than you can imagine. It's one of those quality of life details that does add up over time. Okay, those were 6 pros of living in Reno, and now on to the 4 cons that I have that could catch you off guard after you move here. Time to be completely real. Con number 1, HOA culture and new construction fees. If you buy in a newer development, especially in South Reno, which pains me to say that because I love South Reno, you need to go in with open eyes about HOA fees and rules. They do exist. It's a real thing. A lot of the newer master plan communities come with HOAs that cover shared amenities, but they also come with real monthly costs and restrictions. Paint colors, landscaping, parking rules, to name a few. Some buyers coming from areas without strong HOA cultures can really be caught off guard by how involved these can be. It's not always a deal breaker, but it's definitely something to be aware of and something that I personally walk every one of my clients through before they fall in love with a house in one of these new communities. I personally live in an HOA that's not very restrictive, and it's a beautiful thing. The outside of the neighborhood looks great. There aren't cars on jacks outside of my house. Like, all the paint colors match. It's great. But like I said, mine is not very restrictive. Some of them can be pretty strict, and that's just the way it is. So read the CC&Rs and try to get as much information as you can about the HOA before you fall in love with the house and write an offer. Con number 2, limited nightlife and diverse dining. This one makes me a bit sad because I'm a huge foodie and I have made it a mission to find some of the best hidden gem food spots here, and we do have some great spots, but compared to some of the big metro cities, we are a bit behind still. I will say though, the dining scene here has grown a lot and it continues to grow day by day, but it does fall short of some of the other popular cities. Specifically, Midtown has some genuine gems now, some really good spots, and the food scene continues to get better every single year. But if you're coming from a city with a deep, diverse food culture, I'm talking 6 different cuisines in walking distance, restaurants that are open past midnight, 2 a.m. sushi, you will definitely notice and feel the difference here. Late night options here are especially limited, with the exception of the casino restaurants. Like I said, Reno's working on it. We're getting better, but it's something to be aware of so that you're not disappointed after you make the move. Con number 3, property taxes rising with growth. This is a real financial one. As home values have climbed, property tax reassessments have definitely caught some homeowners off guard. Nevada actually has pretty reasonable tax rates compared to other states, and there are caps that protect existing homeowners from massive year-to-year jumps. Buyers sometimes assume that no income tax means low taxes across the board. This is simply not the case. New construction in particular can carry different assessment rules than resale homes. This is exactly the kind of thing that I walk through with every single one of my buyers, because it is the thing that actually affects your monthly payment, not just the sticker price on the home. Con number 4, Reno's identity crisis. This is more of a comedic one, and it's more of a vibe than a true cold hard fact. But Reno is still kind of figuring out what it wants to be. It's not fully outdoor adventure town, it's not fully tech hub, it's not fully old casino town anymore either. It's all of those things at once in transition, which is kind of a beautiful part about Reno. There's a lot of diversity, but it does kind of mean that the identity can feel a little unsettled if you're used to a city with a more established character. For some people, that's exciting. You're getting in early on something that's still being built. For others, it can feel like the city still hasn't decided on what it wants to be yet. Definitely worth knowing which type of person you are and if this matters to you before you commit. So that is the stuff that doesn't show up in a Google search. The day-to-day texture of actually living here from a local, not just the headline facts. If you haven't already, go watch my other video where I break down the big picture stuff, taxes, jobs, the real estate market, proximity to Tahoe, things like that. Between these two videos, you've now got the full honest picture from a Reno local of what it's like to live here. If you're seriously thinking about moving to Reno, consider booking a call with me. It's completely free. I'll leave a link to book a call with me down in the description below, and we'll talk all about your current situation with zero pressure at all. Thank you so much for watching this video, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button down below if you found this video helpful. I really appreciate it, and I will see you in the next one.